Your audience is following you. Your audience is on Facebook and Instagram. They're gonna follow you to LinkedIn. If you say, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm doing these things, they're gonna follow you there. The same videos you post on YouTube, Vimeo, wherever your video platform of choice is, post them on LinkedIn. Because your audience is gonna see you on Instagram clowning and being real cool and casual one way. They're gonna see you like this in your Kessler suit and like, who is this guy? He's not authentic.
This is LinkedIn Lamar.
LinkedIn Lamar? No, sir.
Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Traffic Sales and Profit Show. If you are a black entrepreneur looking for ways to grow your business and your wealth, you're in the right spot. And today I got the right person because we're talking about how to make money on one of the largest social media platforms that I feel like is probably the largest misunderstood platform, misused platform. Like, y'all not getting to the money. So I brought a very special person to show you and teach you how today. Adriane Simpson, founder and CEO of the LinkedIn Pros. What's up, Adriane? How you doing?
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. And what you say is absolutely true. LinkedIn is the most misunderstood, misrepresented, and just misused platform of social media that there is. So I'm happy to talk about it.
I'm gonna ask you a question before we start. Yeah. Do you think that LinkedIn makes or has the opportunity to make the most money?
Yes, absolutely. No question.
So listen, so if y'all thought this wasn't an episode for you, make sure you lock in and pay attention. Now, before we get into your story, like, just give me a few things most people don't know about LinkedIn.
Most people don't know that LinkedIn has the ability now to add an active live link. So if you want to schedule somebody or have them scheduled on your calendar to talk to them right away, you can do that now.
In your what's that, in your profile or in the
It's in the header. It's in the header of your profile right now. You can embed a live link to links to whatever of Black Friday sale, a calendar, an active page on your website, a purchase page, e-commerce, whatever you want it to do. You can link right there. They can go straight to it. First thing. Second thing is, most people don't know that you should be able to tell a story in your profile in the About section about who you are and what you do so that people will know upon reading it right away. Third thing is, most people don't know that there's a strategy around who looks at your profile and why. And you should really be thinking about that as you are crafting the messaging on your profile and what you want people to do.
Now, I feel like the people who probably don't do any of what you're talking about, who are the worst at entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Because my LinkedIn, it ain't good, but I feel like it's decent up until 2010. In 2010 is when I left my job. So I feel like it was like updated up until that point, but it's been a little bit off the rails ever since.
So people feel like LinkedIn is I thought LinkedIn was just for jobs. It's for jobs, yes, but people that work at those jobs have to work where? At companies. So the companies have to have a strategy. They're looking for employees. They're also looking for business-to-business relationships. If you own your company as an entrepreneur, you are a business. People think LinkedIn is for corporations, Fortune 500, for jobs, but not for them, which just floors me every time.
Okay, all right, this is good. So before we jump more into that, which we got, we're gonna go way deeper than that, and you got some nuggets you're gonna share with them. How in the world did you get into LinkedIn, become, like where did LinkedIn Pros come about? Like how did all this come so that you like niched down and became the expert in this field?
For sure. So I've been on LinkedIn since 2009, like October 1st, 2009. I've been looking at it literally since then. And I started because I was looking for work. So I was working at these jobs, doing okay in the corporate space, but then I got laid off for the first time. So my story is that I got laid off 4 different times. But the first time, I was young in my career. My parents were in education and construction, so neither one of them had an idea of what laid off really meant. None of my friends did either, and so I had to figure out what to do next. So I looked for jobs, I looked for work, got on LinkedIn, okay. I got my second job. The second time I worked there for like 7.5 years. This time I was reading the tea leaves. So I knew that I was getting ready to get laid off. Like, you can feel it coming, you feel the vibe. And so I really started leaning into LinkedIn. I started connecting with folks at businesses. I didn't want to leave Atlanta. That's the truth, right? I'm in Atlanta. I've been here for 20-something years. I didn't want to leave Atlanta. So for me, the strategy was, let's find corporations who are headquartered here. They'll have more jobs. Okay. So I started connecting with HR people, with talent managers, and sending them notes saying I was connecting. And also, though, looking for the jobs on their company sites. Like, I didn't just send them a connection request willy-nilly. Like, I had a strategy. And so By the third time I got laid off, I realized that not only had I been doing these processes on LinkedIn, but I had repeated them multiple times. If I repeated them, then as a process person, I knew that I could repeat it and teach it to other people. The fourth time I got laid off, I was like, bump this, I'm starting my own company.
I got questions about all these layoffs too, but we keep moving.
It happens.
So what was well, let me ask you this, right? Because by then you say, okay, I got a process. Is at this point you start kind of doing things for other people and training other people, mentoring other people? Like how did that transition into a company and a business?
So you're gonna clown me, but I'll take it.
I don't clown people here.
You're gonna clown me. I started years ago delivering free workshops in my community. So
you about to get clowned.
I said that. So, I mean, I knew that, again, I had repeated this process. I knew that I could find jobs, and by that time I had started doing contract work for way more money than I had ever made before. So I was like, oh, bet. They're out here hiring people for, a contract, a finite period of time, making way more money. I can do this. And so people have a fear that if I get a contract job, I'll have to just, feverishly look for my next one, but that's not the case. Because either they will rehire me for the first, for that same company, or another company would fire me because now I'm in that space and I'm looking. But I also had optimized my profile. I was doing research on the keywords to embed in my profile that I knew that people were searching for because I had a strategy around how to do that. And so
it's like SEO inside of LinkedIn itself.
Absolutely. It's a big search engine, just like Google, just like YouTube, all these things. And so I had to start doing that and leveraging it to find these new roles. You asked me something else.
No, I'm saying how you started the business transition part.
So I started doing free workshops. I started teaching people how to redo their resumes. And then, quite frankly, I came to Traffic Sales and Profit, TSP Live in 2019. I came first. And so I had an idea. I was there. I was, enthralled. I didn't join. I didn't. That's part of my story too. But I left with this. I won't gloss over that part. I'm going to gloss over that.
So you come to TSP Live 2019. You see us open up the illustrious, dignified, often imitated, never duplicated TSP Mastermind. You not joined right then.
Bruh, let me tell you something. So, if I can call you bruh. So, I'm there.
You call me bruh now. But in 2019, you didn't join. You wouldn't have been allowed to do it.
I was like, oh, okay. So I was there when Janice Bryan Howard was there. I have a picture with her.
Wow.
I was on the front row, because I'm a front row sitter, right? So I'm there. Arrested Development had performed, everybody's doing the thing, and I'm looking around like, what is going on in here?
So at this point, you knew this was your people. You knew you were in the right room. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Again, I say. But I was there, I didn't have any background. I didn't know, and like a lot of people, I wasn't skeptical, but I was like, what is going on? I literally text my friend who invited me to come, and I was like, what's going on? Like, what's about to happen? And they were like, what part is he on? What part is he on? What's going on? So they shared the message. Here's the funny part, though. The very first day I was there, because I sat in the front row, I sat next to Nikki Klue. Nikki Klue sat next to me. We had a great time, bonded, met her, right, meeting new people. And the second day came back, and she had moved. And I was like, where's the nice lady? I thought we were cool. She moved to sit in the middle of the central row, because when y'all opened the mastermind, she joined. And I was like, oh, okay. So when I finally joined, right, that following year, I was like, there's a nice lady I met. And a few other people that I had seen on stage too.
And they had all joined the mastermind.
They had joined the mastermind.
Wow.
So unlike many people, because you look at me like, I can't believe you didn't do that. But unlike a lot of folks, I didn't regret not joining, but I did know that I could have progressed a lot farther, faster, had I joined when I thought about it first, instead of the following year.
Yeah, that's good. That's probably the most common thing I get from people that come to an event and have the opportunity to join right away, but don't, is that piece. Because it's going to take you time to get to where you want to get to no matter what.
Right.
So it's like, hey, I just could have, if nothing less, I could have accelerated by 1 year, getting to where I'm going to get to anyway. I could have got there 1 year faster. And the other thing I tell people all the time, right? I tell people, like, you come in, people come to the mastermind extremely smart people, right? They go-getters. So I tell them, hey, you're going to be successful anyway. We just try to cut down the amount of time that it actually takes, right? You want to compress the amount of time it takes and speed it up with the support, the resource, the coaching, the community to get you there a lot faster and with new ideas and ways to progress for other people to start taking some of that path.
I will tell you, and speaking of faster, so I have an MBA, right? I've gone to business school. I have an undergrad in business administration. So I definitely understood the tenets of business and the concepts of business. I owned other businesses before. like I was saying, I used to have community events where I would invite people. I would rent the space, invite people to, because I wanted to just teach people about what I had learned and the knowledge I gained. I also had this really just passion for sharing about LinkedIn because I know that there's money to be made on this platform and we are not availing ourselves of it. I see money exchanged every single day because absolutely believe that if corporations are there and they're positioned, they're looking for businesses to do business with. Now, they're not going to just throw money at you. You got to seek out the right resources and find the right people. You got to share the right pitch. You got to have something that they want to, to purchase and be interested in. And so because of that, I know there's money there, and that's why I started the company. I wanted to make sure that other people knew how they can make money there too.
I love it. So you're starting to show people, you're doing these free community workshops down at the local Y. You get your whole thing together, right? So you're teaching people. At what point did you start to transition into helping business owners? Because at first it's just helping people like kind of, find better jobs, contracts, et cetera, like that. At what point, did you say I'm working with small business owners to show them the opportunity how to get to the money using LinkedIn?
I have to attribute that to being in the mastermind. So again, I started with professionals and individuals, and then when I got to the mastermind, y'all were like, what about businesses? And I was like, okay, yeah, they absolutely do need it. And so I really started kind of surveying owners and friends of mine who own businesses and folks in the mastermind to understand kind of where those gaps were. But I'll tell you, a lot of my business was about educating people how you can use LinkedIn because, again, people still think it's just for jobs. No, it's absolutely for brand development, for brand definition, for positioning your brand, for showing what you have and what you can do, and then for drawing those businesses in and then selling them your services. So in the mastermind, I decided to pivot just a bit, not away from where I started, but to include sharing and teaching business owners how they could grow and increase their brand too.
Okay, that's good. So, so you're doing that now. You're helping individuals, you're helping businesses. You're going. Let's get to the business part and some things we can talk about. What are the biggest mistakes you see business owners make when it comes to LinkedIn?
How much that?
And be real. Keep it 100.
I am. Listen. The biggest mistake I see people making is that they don't take advantage of all the real estate. And so when I say that, like, what do you mean, Adriane? Well, I mean, there's a big old cover image. There's a rectangular space that it's a graphic, it's a static graphic, but you can put anything in there. Y'all use Canva and come up with what you want, right? So they don't use that. They don't have up-to-date headshots. I always say be truthful in advertising. I'm not telling you to go and get a Glamour Shots profile, but I am telling you that if you got dreadlocks 15 years ago and now you have a short and curly, let's make the two match because people are looking for trust, right, as they look to engage you on this platform. And so if you look vastly different now than you did then, then update your profile. That's all. People make the mistake of really not fleshing out and sharing detail about their company. They don't tell people what the CTA is. What do you want them to do? They are afraid of sales. People are so afraid of talking. I mean, people, oh, Adriane, I'm so introverted. I don't want to say anything. Are you introverted and afraid of money? And if you're not, then you should reach out and find the right people who are interested in your offer, right? Who are interested in your business and what you have to sell. And LinkedIn has 800 million accounts there. Surely there's somebody there to buy what you have to sell. Get on there and look for them.
Now, with LinkedIn, let me ask you this, right? Because I post stuff on there sometimes, see everybody else posting, they get notifications, they post whatever like that. Are we looking at LinkedIn like we need to be posting, like how, in my Instagram feed, I'm posting stuff, my Facebook feed. Should I be posting on LinkedIn the exact same way? And if so, as a business owner, like what type of things am I posting? Am I posting engagement posts? Am I posting educational things? I'm teaching people. Is it like videos? Am I taking the podcast and putting it out there? Or is it all of the above?
Yes, all of that. Yes. So, on
you feel like you couldn't wait to like jump. You like,
bro, I was like,
tag me in.
Double touch it. Because people they have a fear of what to say on LinkedIn. Number one, I'm telling you to be your authentic self, right? If you are talking to business owners and you're telling them what they should do and what they should, what you have to share and what you're teaching them, share that on LinkedIn as well. If you have videos, absolutely share videos for sure. So LinkedIn doesn't have stories anymore like Reels, but they do have the ability for you to upload video content, right? Share that. You're teaching the audience what you want them to know. There's a featured section on your profile. So when you upload posts and information, lock it in that featured section. So whenever I go to your profile, that's what I see every time, but rotate it. Don't let stale information live there, right? But make sure that you may not share the same information that you share on Instagram and Facebook, but absolutely share video, informational, educational, engagement, right? Whatever you want them to know and learn and do and understand about your business, share that there for sure.
And is it in the same voice though? Because as you were talking about, your authentic you, and I was just thinking to myself, like, if I'm on Facebook, I'm like, if y'all ain't doing this, you tripping. You need to be selling something for Black Friday. Like, why not? This is what I'm watching on TV. And last night's reality TV, this is what I saw happen. Here's the business case. But I feel like when I'm on LinkedIn, I need to be a little more formal. King's English, even.
LinkedIn is like church. But guess what? Your audience is
an old
following
church,
you.
not even a new church. Not even this new
King
James church.
King
I'm
James
talking about like
Testament.
Easter suit. I used to go, man, DMV is a spot called Morton's. You go there and get your little cheap suit. You be doing it. But that's how I feel like LinkedIn. I feel like I need to be polished and professional. Like the video content, some of the video content I share on the other platforms, I'm like, I love it, but I'm like, it's not polished. I need a necktie or something to be on LinkedIn.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you though. Your audience is following you. Your audience is on Facebook and Instagram. They're gonna follow you to LinkedIn. If you say, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm doing these things, they're gonna follow you there. The same videos you post on YouTube, Vimeo, wherever your video platform of choice is, post them on LinkedIn. Because your audience is gonna see you on Instagram clowning and being real cool and casual one way. They're gonna see you like this in your Kessler suit and like, who is this guy? He's not authentic.
This is LinkedIn Lamar.
LinkedIn Lamar.
LinkedIn
No,
Lamar.
sir. No, sir.
No LinkedIn Lamar.
But I'm gonna tell you, here's why people change up, because they feel like, well, there's more money on LinkedIn. They feel like people are stodgy and stuffy. And yes, people are thinking about work more so there, maybe business deals more so there. But when they meet you, which Lamar would they meet though?
That's good. That's a good point.
Who you gonna share?
That's a good point. Hey, if you're listening, I want you to think about this. Our community needs you. So if I need you to grow your business, it's only one way for you to do it and make it happen, and that is with TSP Propel. TSP Propel is like Netflix for Black entrepreneurs. It's a go-at-your-own-pace self-study system of over 50 plus courses. In addition, we give you resources and templates to execute faster. And we're going to do monthly calls with my coaches to make sure you get everything you need and get your questions answered. For more information, visit www.tspropel.com.
Who you gonna share?
That's a good point. All right, so I'm doing, as our friend Monray say, all the things, right? I'm doing all the things on LinkedIn. I'm posting. Now, I've seen some different interesting things. I've seen people doing what look like newsletters. I've seen people hosting groups, right? They got groups on LinkedIn. And I'm assuming this is all about community, because I'm like a community guy. So is that the specific reason, like, hey, I want to attract people and bring them into me and closer to my office and what I do? Or is there something else I'm missing?
So it's all of that, but it's also, again, it is cementing you as a subject matter expert. Because I'll tell you a secret. There are over 800 million accounts on LinkedIn. Only 0.004% of people are posting. 3 million accounts. So guess what? You have all the bandwidth to position yourself as a subject matter expert. So you want to post newsletters so your audience can find you and read about that. You want to share video content. You want to share audio. You want to host events on LinkedIn, right? You want to go
host an event. Hold on, what is that? What is hosting an event? So is that just like Facebook? Like I do hey, I got an event on this day, and it's just like the notification of an event?
It is, but guess what? What if you told your audience that I'm going to host an event on LinkedIn, right? I'm going to schedule it here, and you invite your LinkedIn audience there, and then you did something live. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So you can draw your audience in. LinkedIn has audio now as well, just like old school Clubhouse, right? Remember Clubhouse a couple years ago? LinkedIn has LinkedIn audio, and so.
For live, or just like recorded? I record it and.
No, for
just
live.
Okay.
For live.
You can tell, like, I don't be on LinkedIn at all.
I'm like,
how you log in? Like,
Sorry.
this is the URL for this.
You need to be on LinkedIn.
Right.
But I'm telling
you. Like, dude,
so,
you've known me for years now. This is ridiculous.
This is what I do. But you have the ability to position yourself as the expert so that when people are looking and searching for content on LinkedIn about whatever your subject matter is, they find you. They're going to find you because, again, there aren't that many people posting on LinkedIn. Not as many accounts as there are. So the lane is wide open for you.
So sounds still, even after all these years, still blue ocean strategy.
Yeah.
Because like I said, most people are on it just literally like I hang my shingle on it. Like me, right? I kind of hang my shingle on it. If you're looking for me, you can find me. Ain't gonna be a lot of stuff on there. You can find out where I used to work at.
Right.
But that's kind of like the tip of the iceberg. But it sounds like a lot of opportunity to do a lot of other things.
There is so much, and I think that's the biggest challenge, right, for people in their business. So that you working real hard to prove yourself on Instagram when LinkedIn has the business connection that you need to grow your business. I literally got a 5-figure contract in a weekend. 2 days, sir, because I was speaking on a platform on Saturday, spoke and had a conversation on Sunday morning. Monday, I submitted the proposal. By Tuesday, I was meeting with the team. My contract had been accepted. 5 figures with a Fortune 50 company. So the opportunities are there. Here's what we should know, though, that the people who control that money look like me and you. or they're looking for resources that look like me and you.
Right.
And so they're looking and waiting for the opportunity. They're searching and they can't really find it. So they have to go on Instagram and search for business and not doing that. They're not spending their time doing it.
That's good. That's good. All right. So let me ask you about this, right? I've seen on LinkedIn is something called Sales Navigator.
Yes.
And from what I've seen, I think like that's one of the real game changers between LinkedIn and you were excited. Like I was throwing these supposed to be hard balls. I feel like I'm just underhand throwing these softballs for you to knock out the park. So tell me about, because I don't think the average person knows about the land of that other part of LinkedIn where, like I said, now we really talk about how it's for business development and business growth. What is like the Sales Navigator or any other, components that people should know about that they don't?
Navigator
the
is
pregnant pause. This is about to be good. This is about, y'all lean into your audio, lean into you. This is about when somebody give you the pregnant pause on purpose. She did a. It's about to be good. Let me get ready.
Listen, Navigator is like the holy grail of contacts, of connections, of access, because for a nominal monthly fee, and I don't work for LinkedIn, right? But for a monthly fee, you can avail yourself of all of that data that LinkedIn has available. You can look for exactly the person that you want to talk to if you know your target audience. So let's pause right there, right? Some businesses don't, many businesses do.
Clarity around that avatar.
Listen, if you know who your target avatar is, you can literally pluck them out on LinkedIn, be a navigator, and get a list of them, and then start talking to them in the language that you know. You got to be comfortable to do that, but you can do that.
That reminds me, right? Real life example. I met a guy that was in the insurance lane, and he would go out and look for other insurance brokers as well. And he was telling me he was using the Sales Navigator on LinkedIn, and he said, hey, I would do a search for individuals in insurance that work for this specific company. Yeah. And then he said, I literally would send them, it's an InMail, right, message to their LinkedIn inbox that in the subject line was something like opportunity for people that work at XYZ company. Or it was something very specific where whatever the subject line was, if I worked at that place, I would open it to be like, what's up? And essentially the copy inside of that email was all about the fact that they had a new opportunity. And if you work for this company, right, how they could do things better and they could do all of this and that, because they knew what the company offered. They probably knew the commission structures, what it was all about. So they knew what their advantage was, but LinkedIn and the Sales Navigator in particular gave them the ability, like you said, because they knew they were trying to target, to take that very particular, precise message and get it in front of the right people. And he told me he was converting like crazy.
Genius. I love it. I love it. So here's, it's not even a trick, right? I say secret because people don't avail themselves of that. People are more focused and concerned about whether they should spend $29.99 a month for LinkedIn Premium than looking at something like Sales Navigator that would change the entire game for their company.
And the great thing about LinkedIn is, we've used the HR portion of it, right? Because they got like a paid HR, it's so many facets of it. Where if you want to find great people, LinkedIn, to hire, right, to build teams with. You want to find great people to do business development with. You want to find great, it's so much on there. And even, we're talking to small business owners again. We're always talking about the crunch to find great people and to find great folks for the team. And I'll never forget, I was talking to a woman that was on the HR team of Infusionsoft one year. And I was saying, how do y'all find all these developers? Because, it's like a very competitive market, and you're looking for a very specific type of person with a specific type of mindset and knowledge. Yeah. And I was like, how in the world, if I'm just trying to find like regular office staff and all, how in the world are you finding these developers with all this information? And they said LinkedIn. And it was, even from a hiring perspective, right? I wasn't hiring like we are now back then. But, she was like, we don't sit there, we post job descriptions and people come to us. But they was like, hey, we're on LinkedIn actually looking for the people and identifying the people oftentimes before they even ready to leave or look somewhere, and then recruiting them over to our teams.
Absolutely. If you know who your competitors are, you're going to look for the sources that work at your competitors. Look at them. Look at the descriptions that they have. Look at their work ethic. Look at their experience and history. You can identify and pinpoint who your ideal hire is based on if you know your competitors, or if you know where they are. So you can do a search on folks and find with skills and experience, but I'm telling you, if you're looking for that needle in the haystack, look at your competitors and then see who they've hired and then start recruiting them. I get recruited today, and I promise I'm not looking for a new job. I mean, I have companies that are recruiting me in my inbox today because they can see my background and history and experience. But I'm not.
You know something? I got companies recruit me on LinkedIn too.
I bet they do.
Like, I don't pay a lot of attention, but literally every 2 weeks I'll get, you know, something about, you know, some company got a CEO opening, or, you know, some, you know, they want a chief marketing officer or something. Like, I was not paying attention to them, but you actually just reminded me that I get that stuff in my inbox all the time too.
So they're looking at your experience, they're looking at your profile, they're also looking at the trail that you leave on social media, right? So when I say your Facebook and Instagram profiles should be similar, if not, you know, not quite the same, but similar, you're leaving breadcrumbs all over social media. They know who you are. And they're looking for the right candidate. They're gonna look and find you. They don't care what you're doing now, they wanna entice you, right? So the same is true for people looking for ideal candidates. If you're looking to hire, look on LinkedIn for sure.
Next time one of my team members tell me, hey, you know what, I'm looking at another place. I'm looking at other places too. Keep giving me a hard time. I'll be out of here getting my own job.
That's right, they're in my inbox.
That's good. So all right, so we dropping it down. So we finding out that, hey, we can connect directly with people and get to them. We finding out the fact that, you know, the content that we're sharing on other platforms, we need to share it. Now, I'm sure, you know, content specifically created for it will probably do better, but just repurposing what you have as a place to start is better than nothing, right? You said that, hey, the majority, I forgot, it was like
0.004%
are only sharing. So it's still a blue ocean for us to get out there and share more on. Now, for business owners you're specifically working with, what are some things that you've seen or done that's made a major impact in a short amount of time?
I love that question.
It sounds like what kind of businesses they were too, because I know, you know, people always listen and say, well, that's cool, but, you know, my business is different. Like, what are some of the different kind of businesses you've helped with LinkedIn?
So we work with service businesses, we work with e-commerce businesses, we work with authors, we work with, everything under the sun, really, specifically coaches, consultants. I've got a lingerie business owner right now that we're working with. I've worked with, again, folks who are focused on e-commerce, specifically hair products and accessories. So I like to give those examples because folks say, well, Adriane, I sell synthetic hair. Like, my business won't do well on LinkedIn. I said, well, the people on LinkedIn have hair, right? And so there are a plethora of African-American women business owners or employees who are on LinkedIn, right? And so just imagine the struggle that I have with my natural hair and figuring out how I can go to work and what I'm gonna wear. Is there some protective wig or something I can wear on my hair? What about the Crown Act that was passed in California that makes it illegal now to discriminate against hair? So if you're the expert and you're writing about the Crown Act or you have that in your newsletter, then I'm drawing more to you because I see you're sharing nuggets of information that's valuable to me. You know,
so that's good. Let's say that for a second, because what I'm thinking about as you say that is the fact that it's a lot of people say, hey, you know what? I'm done with Facebook. I'm off of it, I'm not going. There's a lot of people say, hey, I'm not interested in Instagram or TikTok because I feel like it's wasting my time, I don't get value from it. But they may naturally gravitate towards LinkedIn. They may be on LinkedIn, you know, I know, like just like it's folks on those other platforms every day, it's folks that, you know, they get started, they logging into LinkedIn and pulling up their LinkedIn feed and going through it. But that makes sense, right? That since that's their primary native, I feel like everybody has a native social media platform that you were just most in tune with. Whether you use it or don't use it, it's just something about it appeals to you, and that's where you get most of your content. You like to watch the feed. Even if you're not posting something, you're lurking and reading stuff. So for the people that LinkedIn is their primary platform, they still need all the things that, you know, the people on Facebook need or Instagram need or whatever like that. So it just would make sense. I never really thought about that before, but you're totally right.
And what's refreshing is that people on LinkedIn are now starting to see a little bit more in their feeds. So they're not expecting to see you talk about e-commerce brands or something they can purchase or buy, or that you have a sale coming up. But I have clients that are doing that. They're sharing like their accessories and clothing that they got on sale, and they're putting it on LinkedIn. So now guess what? The person's gonna see it. They're not used to seeing it in their feeds. They're gonna click off and go to your website and buy.
I was just thinking that's probably hot, because especially as we get into the holidays, like on Facebook, that's all you're gonna see, right? On Instagram, that's all you're gonna see. Like on these different platforms that are more traditional for that type of selling, like you're gonna, like you said, inundated with it. Like every, 2 out of 3 or 4 posts is gonna be about that. But on some place like LinkedIn, that would be way different for me. Like the stuff I see in my feed is never really somebody just straight up saying, hey, this is my offer, this is what I'm doing.
That's right.
Interesting.
So, and that's just the content, right, that you're sharing. LinkedIn also has ads, sponsor ads. And so they have I don't know, 6 or 7 different placements where you can play. You can even do an ad in somebody's InMail. So if you want to make it really personal and make your message really, land for their audience, send them an InMail message as an ad. I mean, you can absolutely advertise and tell them what you have to offer and what you have to sell, especially if you know, again, your targeted audience. You can land it right in their lap.
And just for clarity for everybody that doesn't know, I want to talk about what InMail is.
Yeah. So InMail is LinkedIn's inbox. Right? It's like your Facebook inbox, your Instagram inbox, right? That DM that you talk about all the time. So LinkedIn is called InMail. And so you can have a regular, if you're connected with somebody first level connected, then you can send them a direct message. But if you do an advertisement for InMail, it'll come to them as like a separate email inbox, but they're still going to get it. You get to talk to them directly.
And it's kind of highlighted with the word InMail or something like, so it kind of stands.
That's right.
It's saying, and I'm thinking about it. When I go into LinkedIn, I'll probably read those first. I think they're always at the top of my box, and they kind of stand out. So I do kind of see them. Or even if I don't see like all of the other stuff down there, like I'm always kind of drawn towards that.
You'll see them. And what I love too is that LinkedIn gives you suggestions, right? It offers you information. It'll show you, again, if you focus on advertising in InMail, it'll say, hey, you have some InMail like in your separate inbox. But if you focus on just straight up advertising on LinkedIn, it's going to show you in different placements, different areas. So you'll see it.
This is good. All right. Any other big mistakes that business owners make or things that they should be doing that they're not?
Yes, I have a really big one that I want to share. Business owners are very concerned about their history, right, and their experience. Now, it's always good to share what you've done to give yourself credibility, but I find that a lot of business owners are really concerned about how they're positioning their business going forward, especially if they're still working a 9 to 5, if they're you still got this is their side hustle. They're really concerned about how they position their business going to make them money, right, and how they're going to leverage that because they're concerned about what other people are thinking.
Correct.
And so my question is always, why are you concerned about people that you don't even talk to anymore, that you haven't worked with in 6, 7, 10 years, right? Why are you allowing them to impact your future and the trajectory of your business when you should really be focused on landing their message solidly with your audience? That's a big mistake people make.
And you see that often.
I see it every day.
So how does that manifest itself? Let's go deeper than that.
Okay.
Like what are they saying? So there's like when they come to you and they're telling you, like what's the language they're using? So I want people listening to be able to identify this to themselves.
So they can say this to me. They say, well, Adriane, I don't know what to put on my LinkedIn profile because I don't want my coworkers to see what I have on here because I started my business and I really wanted to take off, but I don't want to change that. How do I message my business on LinkedIn? And I said, what's your priority? Is your priority growing your business, or is your priority worrying about what people are thinking about as they read your content? Folks that you work with or have worked with in the past that you don't even care about anymore. The language is, I'm concerned about how do I talk about my business on LinkedIn? And I'll say, well, how do you talk about it now? Like, how do you describe what it is that you do? Some of the questions I get to are, how do I position myself on LinkedIn? What do I say in terms of describing my business? And I say, well, who do you help? How do you help people? What's your value proposition? I always encourage business owners to lead with the value that you deliver, because if you don't, then people don't know what you're going to sell them. They don't know how your service or your product is going to help them. When you lead with value, then they're really clear on what your offering is for them.
I love it. All right, so let's lead with value. Okay. How do you help business owners? What do you do? What does LinkedIn Pros do in case people are interested in learning more?
So LinkedIn Pros really helps business owners to define their brand on LinkedIn, leveraging this platform of choice, right? We lean in, we optimize your profile. Optimizing means we research and address those keywords I talked about earlier and find the right language to use and leverage using competitive research, making sure that as folks are searching for opportunities for your service or your product, that you come up in that number. We also help our clients find those ideal targets for them to message their information to, right? We're looking for the ideal candidates for you to sell your services to. We're even helping you to craft the language in that inbox, that sales message that's going to attract them so that you can land and close the sale.
I love it. And then people listen, they say, hey, that sounds like something I'm learning. I want to learn more about. How can they get in touch with you?
Yep. So we've got an amazing site that we update all the time, the LinkedInPros.com. You can absolutely connect with me on LinkedIn, Adriane Simpson 1913 on LinkedIn. And for sure, just reach out to us on all social media platforms at the LinkedIn Pros.
All right. I love it. So y'all have heard all about LinkedIn, about how you need to get in it, right? Adriane dropped a ton of nuggets, right? Like a ton of actionable items. This may have been one of the most actionable episodes I think we've shot so far, where you guys got so much that you can take and get implemented and make happen. And if you say, hey, you know what? Like, I heard all of it. It's amazing. I don't know what to do. I encourage you to just connect directly with Adriane. Her and her team at the LinkedIn Pros can handle you and make sure you get what you need all the way tighten up, right? Whether it's through your personal career, whether it's through your actual business and getting you to where you need to get to. Any last words you want to get to people?
I just want people to know that the money is on LinkedIn. If you are not actively using LinkedIn, you are missing out. And I mean, there is millions to be made on that platform. And don't miss out on making it.
All right, so if you want the millions to be made for your business, listen to what Adriane said and make it happen. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Traffic Sales and Profit Show. Hey, do me a favor. If you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe and follow us on this platform right now to make sure you do not miss a beat as we drop new episodes and additional content every single week. Also, if you'd like to get access to a free paperback copy of my book, access to the TSP Traffic Sales and Profit free Facebook group, our challenges, resources, our events, and more, make sure you visit us at www.trafficsalesandprofit.com/podcast.